What's up, family? We are back with yet another video. You guys already know the drill. If you haven't already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Follow my Instagram and go ahead and like this video, subscribe, comment. If you love any parts of this video or want to see anything a little bit more, have any questions, be sure to go ahead and ask me. Today is going to be all about the lamb chops, the seafood mac and cheese, the lobster, and the asparagus. Let's go ahead and get started. If you can, you're going to start your marinade about 4 hours early, or if you can, honestly, do the day before. Start off with 6 cloves of garlic. You're going to take your time and pull off all of the leaves on there. I used about like 6 or 7 different strands. You can just go ahead and pull them all off. And also, if you don't have a blender to be able to put everything all inside, you can go ahead and take all the springs off and then chop it yourself very finely. That will work as well. Next, I am adding in some rosemary stems. So you're going to see me, rosemary, fresh thyme, fresh garlic cloves. Be sure to have all of your ingredients fresh. If not, you can use the minced garlic. But as far as the herbs, you want to try to get those fresh. I find them in Walmart, pretty much any grocery store I go into. Going to add in your seasonings. Then next, you're going to add in your olive oil. Thankfully, I have this bullet, so it's going to go ahead and chop everything on up. So you go ahead and get that all blended. You want it to blend very, very well. So you're going to leave it on there for a couple minutes. You want it to still have a thick consistency so it can get rubbed onto the meat. But you also want it to still not be super like liquidy, if anything. So you're going to see the consistency that I have. What I'm doing now is just making sure that all of my pieces are the same size. So I'm cutting off a little bit of the meat. I actually just saved that for later. You don't have to use it or anything like that. I just wanted to make sure that all of my pieces were even so that way they would cook even as well. You're going to go ahead and add that marinade onto your lamb chops. And what you're going to do is make sure that you get all of that out of that NutriBullet because you want all of that. All of the seasonings, all of the herbs, all of that olive oil. And one of my garlics didn't mince for some odd reason, so I'm just going to go ahead and take that out. You know, we don't need you right now. Get it all off the tops as well. You want to be able to get all of this all over to the lamb chops. So you're going to go ahead and mix it. I love to use my hands to mix things. If you don't like to use your hands, you can use some tongs. But the benefit of using your hand is you get to make sure that it's all rubbed onto there evenly. You get to make sure not all the pieces, well, you actually get to make sure that all of the pieces will be evenly coated. And it's just going to turn out really beautiful and smell really good when you're cooking this. I really had a good time cooking that. Next, we're going to get our shrimp ready for our seafood mac. I went ahead and cut about 5 pieces of shrimp in half just to add inside. The pieces that are whole will be going on the top of the mac and cheese when I cover it. So I just kind of kept them separated when I seasoned them and everything. I added some olive oil. All of the seasonings will be listed below. So be sure to check out the description box below for all of the seasonings that I used to get the shrimp nicely coated. Also olive oil as well. You're going to go ahead and use these crawfish tails. They are fully cooked, so we're not going to be cooking them very long. In a pan, heat a little bit of olive oil because your shrimp does have the olive oil. Then go ahead and blast those babies in there. Once they are in there, you're going to let them cook on each side. Well, on the first side, you're going to let it cook for about 3.5 minutes. Go ahead and flip them once they're nice and golden and pink. You're going to flip all of the pieces individually, that way you'll make sure they get an even cook on all of the sides. So you're going to go ahead and flip all of those shrimp. The reason I did this one for 3.5 minutes is because I'm not going to keep it that long on the other side because I'm actually going to add the crawfish in. Being that the crawfish is fully cooked, I'm just going to add it in just to kind of get it heated up. And then I'm also going to be adding in some lump crab meat as well. So what I did is just push them a little bit to the side, added in my crawfish tails, and added some more seasoning to the crawfish tails just in case. The bag did say they were seasoned, but like I just want to add the seasonings that I had onto the shrimp to it because that'll make it like evenly seasoned and it'll all have the same consistent taste to it as well. So go ahead, add that seasoning. Like I said, it will be listed below in the description box. You're going to go ahead and mix that for a couple of minutes. I probably did 2 minutes max, and then added in that lump crab as well. What I'm doing now is taking out those whole pieces of shrimp that I said that I'm going to be using for the tops of the macaroni and cheese. You're also going to see me take out a little bitty piece because, as always, taste your food as you go, ladies and gents. That's the key to it. That's the key to knowing how your food tastes. You're going to taste it as you go. It might be piping hot. Promise you, just blow it off. I burnt my tongue countless times. It is not that fun. Blow it off, but just always, always, always taste as you go. As you can see, when I tasted it, I realized that they needed some more salt, so I added that in there. The benefit of tasting as you go is you can make sure that your food tastes exactly how you want. So here it is with the lump crab meat, the crawfish, and the shrimp. Now we're going to go ahead and get our cream sauce ready. So you start by heating up a 32 ounce of heavy whipping cream. You go ahead in with the mild cheddar. Next, you're going to grab the Italian cheese and mix that all up in there as well. I like Italian cheese just because it melts really good. The Colby and Monetery Jack, you put that in there as well. And what you're going to do is let it cook for about 2.5 minutes. Now, this is on a low to medium heat because you do not want the cheese to burn at the bottom. I repeat, you do not want your cheese to burn at the bottom. So once you keep letting it cook, you see the bubbles that are at the top. You're going to go ahead and start mixing. And essentially what you want to do is fold that cheese into that cream. As you'll keep seeing me like constantly stirring and picking it up and making sure that it's like inside of that cream. Because if you can see, like there's a visible difference of the cream that doesn't have the cheese in it and then the cheese. Like the cream is a little bit lighter and the cheese is a little bit darker. So you're going to keep mixing until you get this nice, consistent, creamy sauce. Go ahead and pour that over your noodles, and you're also going to season that to taste once you do that. Salt, pepper, garlic salt, whatever you season your macaroni with, you can go ahead and do it. If you like it, I love it. I used salt and pepper. I didn't use too much because my crawfish and my shrimp and everything was pretty heavily seasoned, so I didn't need too much for the mac and cheese. So you're going to go ahead and mix that. Do y'all see that creaminess? Okay, let's just add the seafood in there. Boom. Add the seafood in there. I got all the drippings up in there because you want it to be nice and tasty, nice and flavorful. Nobody wants no bland seafood mac and cheese. So you go ahead and mix that in there. Close up. Man, oh man. Do y'all see that creamy? That creamy, creamy mac and cheese. That's how you want your mac and cheese to look before you put it inside of the oven. Put it into your pan. I added a tiny layer of cheese before I added the shrimp. So put all your shrimp on there. You're going to take the last pack that you have. It's going to be the Colby, Monetery Jack, and mild cheddar pack. And you're going to cover this all the way and bake at 375 till it's done. I pushed the shrimp down just so they could get a little bit more into the cream and the cheese as well, just so we can have everything nicely covered. Now, one key to taking your lamb chops out the marinade, you want to let them rest outside of the refrigerator for about 30 minutes so they can get to room temp. Once you do that in a hot cast iron skillet, heat up some olive oil, and it's kind of just like a steak. You're going to go ahead and just let it sear. Don't move it, just let it sear. Flip them after about 3 to 5 minutes, or your desired. If you like it a little less seared, you can do that as well. Add in some butter, and let's get to basting. Just like a steak, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go ahead and baste those. Make sure that they got nice and buttery on them. And if you're somebody who likes your lamb chops or your steak or anything like that, medium rare, you're going to let this cook for another 5 minutes on this side, and then you're going to take it off. What I personally did was put it in the oven and let it bake for about 10 to 15 more minutes because I like my stuff medium well. So next we're going to go ahead and go to the lobster. You're going to have some butter. You're going to get some parsley, some Old Bay, and some salt. And you're going to mix. After that, coat your lobster in the butter. Make sure that it's nicely seasoned and generously seasoned, and put it in the oven on boil for 10 to 15 minutes. And voila, your seafood mac and cheese, asparagus, the lamb chops, the lobster. If you need a recipe on the asparagus, I have 3 or 4 videos that I can link at the bottom. Just let me know. But as always, thank y'all for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Follow my Instagram. If you do try this video, I would love to see it. I love to see when y'all try everything. So be sure to tag me. Thanks, y'all.